Hi, and welcome to My Story with Care Credit. We all have stories, but what makes these stories unique is that they are about people who are able to get life-changing treatment, procedures, or medical care for themselves, their family, and their pets. All of the people featured on My Story with Care Credit did it with their Care Credit credit card. Care Credit is a leading national healthcare credit card that can enable you to get many of the procedures and treatments you want now and pay over time with everyday promotional financing on purchases of $200 or more. Care Credit is accepted at hundreds of thousands of locations nationwide to pay for care whenever you need and want it. I'm your host, Amy Freena, and today we have an amazing story, truly a life-saving story that involves a young lady on a difficult journey to find a diagnosis for a unique condition that literally impacted every aspect of her life. This is a story you are not going to want to miss.
Hi, my name is Anne, and thanks to Care Credit, I can now live my life pain-free. Last year, I had this intense pain that started here and throbbing in my jaw, and then it just grew in my brain, and I couldn't think, I couldn't sleep. I started with my dentist to see if there was anything going on. They checked it out, they couldn't find anything. Then I was referred to the ear, nose, throat doctors, numerous physicians and other doctors. I did CAT scans, CT scans, MRIs. They discovered I had a maxillary sinusitis of the endodontic origin. Once we figured out what it was, I was able to, pay for my surgery and all the medicine with Care Credit. So it really helped a lot, and it really was a blessing that I had Care Credit early on in this stage of my pain, because as it progressively became worse, I was able to use Care Credit on this journey of figuring out what was going on. Once I was healed, I felt like I could breathe, and I just had a greater appreciation for life and living and being pain-free, like not having to live with pain. It was just amazing. Thanks to Care Credit, I can now live my life pain-free.
Hey, I'm Amy, and we are live in the studio today with Anne, who is going to share her Care Credit story with us. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for joining us in this cool little loft in downtown LA. We've got a lot going on, but I am excited to hear your story. So before we even really get into it, I want to know, how did you first originally hear about Care Credit?
So it was 2018, last year. I had this pain out of nowhere, it started throbbing here, and so I went to visit my dentist, and she was actually the one that said, hey, why don't you try Care Credit? It's great. You can use it to pay for all of your medical expenses, and so that's how I first heard about it.
Okay. So you said you had the pain in your cheek. So what?
Yeah.
You get to the dentist, and what happens?
So they look through and they find that there's nothing wrong inside. And so I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do? I have this pain. And, weeks went by. I went to the ENT, the ear, nose, throat doctor, to see maybe they can find out something around here. I went to the endodontist, and I went to several other doctors because
Nobody found anything wrong?
No one could find what was wrong with me.
How frustrating.
And it was very frustrating because as it went on, weeks went by, and the pain just gradually started becoming stronger and stronger until it was just excruciating.
Oh my gosh.
Recall there were 2 weeks 2 weeks where it was just, I could not sleep. It felt like somebody took a nail to your brain and stepped on it with a shoe, or like hammered it down.
Oh my gosh.
Everything was just inflamed, in pain. I would just cry, wake up crying in the middle of the night for a long time. All the doctors that I visited, they gave me like gabapentin and all these other drugs that were for trigeminal neuralgia, which is like a nerve pain that is chronic. And so there was a time where I thought, oh my God, I'm going to be living with chronic pain for the rest of my life.
Oh my gosh.
So it was very hard. I did CT scans, CAT scans, MRIs. I mean, it was just nonstop doctor's visits, and all this time I was working as well. But luckily, Care Credit, I mean,
Was taking
the
you.
initial, thank God I found Care Credit at the beginning of this issue, because every medical bill that my insurance didn't pay for, I had Care Credit.
Oh,
And
that's
so,
fantastic.
Yeah, it
Talk about a
gave me
little
peace of-
relief in a crazy situation, right?
Yes, it gave me peace of mind, and that's why I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm so happy to be here to talk about
Yeah,
Care Credit
absolutely.
and how much it's impacted my life and helped me.
Let me ask you, so how much time is this going on that you're in pain and you're going doctor, doctor, and taking all these pills, and I'm sure you're
Yeah.
like taking Advil and whatever you possibly can to help, and nothing's working.
Yeah. So Advil did not work.
Okay.
I had to take like stronger things. They
Uh-huh.
had to give me like, I mean, not just ibuprofen, but like gabapentin, which like knocks you out.
Oh my gosh.
It was from March, April, May. It was about like 3 months, and that's where it kind of spanned. The 2 weeks were the most excruciating pain I've ever experienced during that time. There was a paper that came out in April of 2018 that one of my endodontists had read and said, it is maxillary sinusitis of the endodontic origin, which is a mouthful.
I was gonna say, could you say that one more time?
It's called maxillary sinusitis of the endodontic origin, and it's MSEO for short.
Okay, we'll go there.
Yeah. And so once we got that, it was like an internal abscess. They said we had to remove it. They had to do a sinus lift. Before that, I had to take antibiotics because I had a sinus infection. They did a bone graft. And then even after that, I had to take basically opioids to combat all the pain that was afterward. But
Oh my gosh, you poor
it was a
thing.
journey.
You poor thing. So this one doctor finally comes through because he read it in a medical journal?
Yeah, and
What are the odds?
I know, and it had just come out during the time when I was going through the pain. Nobody knew what was going on. And April 2018, I don't know what I would have done if he hadn't read that
Of course.
article and how
Talk about a blessing.
Yeah, it was such a blessing. There are so many just fortunate things that happened during that time through all of the pain and just unfortunate things that also happened.
So you said while you're having this pain and you're getting obviously incredibly frustrated with all these doctors who aren't helping you, or
Yes.
they don't know how to help you,
Yeah.
you're also trying to keep a job and pay your bills.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was working at a nonprofit, and luckily I had great benefits there, but it was an HMO. But these things like the oral surgeon and endodontist and outside of Kaiser care, it didn't cover. And so for everything outside of that, I luckily had Care Credit. And
Wow.
so it just gave me peace of mind.
Did it?
And I was able to just put everything on there. And now I'm pain-free, and I'm so happy.
We are so happy for you.
Yeah, I would not wish that kind of pain on anyone.
Gosh.
But this has been a journey. So,
I'm happy that it's over for
Yeah,
you.
that's what I was
The
gonna
pain
say.
is gone,
Yeah.
and let's not go back.
Me too, I'm happy.
In the event, whether it be dental or medical or cosmetic or even veterinary, and an unexpected expense comes up in the future, are you just like, I've got this handled, here's my Care Credit card, I'm done?
Yeah, that's actually, I just learned that you could use it on your pets, like veterinarian bills. I strictly just used it for my medical expenses. I thought that's what it was for, and that's what I used it for.
Right.
But now that I know that it's for anything, veterinary, cosmetic, whatever, yes, I would definitely use it.
When you were going to all those different doctors, were you seeking out ones that specifically took the Care Credit credit card?
I did not.
Okay.
I just used, the Care Credit card was able to be used by all of those places.
Wow.
So
Also a blessing.
I was very lucky to be able to use Care Credit. It was so
Awesome.
widely accepted. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Great news. If you could write a review on how the Care Credit credit card helped you and their promotional financing through probably the toughest part of your life, what would it say?
Oh my goodness. It would basically say, thank God for Care Credit. And the name Care Credit really is perfect because they really do care to have those kind of promotional offerings for people going through pain and having to pay medical bills. Care Credit really was there for me. So I'm really appreciative and I'm thankful. Yeah.
Well, we're very happy to hear that. And what an incredible story you have. And I'm so glad it was a happy ending and you are pain-free and you're moving on with your life. So thank you so much. I'm sure you've inspired so many others at home to look into what you did. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
We are so happy Anne's story has a happy ending, and Care Credit was proud to be a part of it. Remember, Care Credit is a leading national healthcare credit card that can enable you to get many of the procedures and treatments you want now and pay over time with everyday promotional financing on purchases of $200 or more. Care Credit is accepted at hundreds of thousands of locations nationwide to pay for care whenever you need and want it. If you are interested in applying for a Care Credit credit card or would like to find a provider in your area who accepts Care Credit, visit us at carecredit.com.